Real quick, first of all, thank you to everybody who came to the seminar. I had a ton of fun. Thanks for Icy Mike for inviting me. So what you're about to watch is like a summary and some key points of that seminar. And then there's some stuff that I left out on purpose, and we'll have videos where I explain that better, more like me to you guys rather than me to a group of people, if that makes sense. That's kind of strange. So you'll see some of the things I talk about at the seminar, and then also I'll have some sparring between myself and the attendees afterwards. We had a lot of fun. It was a blast. Now, sparring videos with Mr. Icy Mike and some of his students will come up later. He tries to teach me how to box or whatever that stuff is that you do when you don't use your feet. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into it.
Perfect. 1 foot at almost a 45-degree angle past you. So this is going to be our back foot. If I'm kicking with this front foot, we're going to focus on pulling the knee up to the opposite shoulder and the toes pointing down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the entire time I'm loading and then extending slowly. I don't care what height this is, I want to go slow to start out with. What you notice is that this foot can only turn angle-wise as far as this foot will let you. If I'm in a stance here and my foot is pointed here, this foot is going to do the exact same thing. So if I'm focused on this foot coming here in order to get that side kick the way you want, and over-exaggerate it now. So what will happen is if you go 120% of the angle right now, when you're practicing it fast, you'll go like 80. Roundhouse kick. So what happens is you get more movement of this part of your leg instead of both halves of your leg. So roundhouse kick looks like this. This is your side. You get this. Okay, side kick, both parts of your leg have to move at the same time. So it has to look like this. Both parts push at the same time. So what we're gonna do, this here, and I'm gonna hold it, and then try and shove it that way. If I'm here, it doesn't go anywhere near response. I'm trying to push that cone this way, and what will happen is, that way you'll get that side. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, make sure you're not picking up on the checks of somebody's foot. And I encourage you to switch feet a bunch during this too. I am bistantial, so I'm all about going either way. So what you'll notice...
That's a brilliant joke.
Thank you. It's totally working just fine. I've never heard anyone say that. I'm going up, go. Okay? So real slow. I'll walk around and yell or laugh or something. Get to that point where I can throw a side kick. So if I'm fighting here, I can't really throw a side kick right now. But what I can do is I can do things where I'm feinting, and then I can drop into this here, which is ideal side kick spot. Okay? So I'm like this. First thing we'll talk about is literally throwing this hand high and over the shoulder, boom, and letting this foot go with it. So instead of throwing a jab like this, I throw a jab like this. And then I can hang out there, because you're not going to notice that my foot's different if I keep my shoulders here. So if I go like this, boom, it doesn't look much different than this. And now, if I come up and he does anything with his hands, side kick, nice in between the hip and the ribs, okay? So first thing you do is you're going to be hanging out here, you're going to go boom, and you're going to go boom, and then you're going to go. Good. And then, once you pull back, let go, boom, higher, boom, look, and then I there you go. Hugging that hip. Good. That means you more likely need to take a bigger step with that front foot. There you go. Good. Questions? We start with the camera now, so you gotta ask.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah, he looks like a schmuck if no one has to make questions.
questions on stuff that we've gone over.
I have a question.
Yes.
You don't put your hand up when you throw a side kick.
Which one? Front?
Your rear hand.
Correct.
But isn't that wrong?
So your side kick's your longest kick by far.
Yeah.
It's 100% longer than
You gotta keep your hands up all the time.
this pulling backwards this way. I'm not gonna go like this because if I'm way out here, odds are, unless I throw a really crappy kick, you're not gonna be hitting me when I'm throwing a side kick.
Yeah.
Okay? What I'm doing is I'm pulling the shoulder backwards and pushing the hip forward, so I'm going like this. Boom.
People see hands down and they think,
Right. So my hands are going down because my head is so far away at that point, bang, that I'm not worried about anything. This is one of those kicks where it's like it's a safety net, right? It's like a jab, but 5 times longer. Because if I throw a jab, yes, I can miss and you can come in. But my foot is this wide. Here, I have all of this room to operate, and I've got a brace behind it. So the odds of you coming in, unless I'm going against a karate guy who's really just boop boop, or a taekwondo guy who's really just boop boop, probably not going to get me.
It's the same rule that you taught us, just basically the opposite. So like if I'm doing the left kick, I take those same rules that you implemented for kicking with the left, and I just do the opposite with the right.
For which kick? Spinning
Like-
rear or just a side kick?
Like taking the step first to kick, for example. If I'm kicking with the right leg, should I always step with the right leg first or the left leg first?
If you're going side kicks with a back leg, it makes it a little more difficult because the same rules apply, like the same basic structure of this foot this way, this knee up, this foot in between. How you get there depends on what your stance is. So if I want to keep in that back leg and I want to throw a side kick, like my hips are naturally set that way. So what I have to do is something that allows me to set myself here. So whether that's like taking this big overhand and throwing like this, now this foot's this way, I can do a side kick. Whether it's spinning around and then going, there's different ways to do it, but you should end up in the same spot where this foot is slightly this way, knees here, foot is in between you and each other.
You should practice, not practice.
What I usually do, I usually do this more with teeps when I teach this, or front kicks, whatever you want to call them. Is if I'm further away and I don't move this foot, my hip has to go forwards. Same thing here. If I'm really close and I practice this, I'm practicing letting my hip sit behind. If I am further away and I make myself reach for it, my foot has to be on the outside of my hip. So here, foot outside the hip, same concept. If I'm further away, I'm guaranteeing myself that my body has to go this way, which means foot is outside the hip. So what I would do is just practice on the wall and go like this. Boom, boom. And then when you are this close, that means this foot has to move out to go.
Do you always have the same power, or do you do like a snap versus thrust style, like Yoko Geri, like the snap kick versus thrust kick?
It depends. It really trying to get somebody off my back. I think there's like a dig and a push. Go back at it. So like the difference is I go. There's like we'll break it down into 2 for side kick slaps, but it's kind of strange. Here, where I make the contact and I drive, I'm trying to move it. Where I'm here and I go drive before the contact, I'm trying to move his insides. So yes, there are situational things. I think it's where you put the force compared to where you contact. Cool.
Thank you.
Good job. Yep, absolutely. Sure thing. So option number 2, I'm square, I throw my roundhouse kick, bah! I've got options from here, let me throw it this way. Bah! Whether it's high or it's low, and then my foot is now sideways, which makes it easier for me to throw a side kick. I've got 2 options.